What is going on, Hive Warriors? It's your boy Edward V, and today we're going to do something special. We're going to talk about a recent study that was released in regards to walking 10,000 steps. And it's in line with all the previous studies that show that 10,000 steps doesn't actually do anything for you. I'm going to go ahead and break it down in this video. Stay tuned. Alright, jumping right into this video, I'm sure that you have heard the notion that if you walk about 10,000 steps a day, you're going to be burning body fat and tackling your cardiovascular health and making sure that you're on the up and up in terms of your fitness. And just to keep that up, just to keep those benefits, all you got to do is just make sure that every day you find a way to walk 10,000 steps. Well, the thing is that there's never actually been any studies that can corroborate that there is a benefit to walking 10,000 steps. One thing that can come from that, if you think of it on a kind of a hypothetical or theorizing, is that you will increase activity, and thus that increase of activity can translate so you can habitually do other things that increase activity, and then you can continue that process. So you would take something as a springboard effect to something else, and then because you're in this new thing and then you're continuing to advance your activity, you then eventually land in a place where you are consistently doing higher levels of activity that would then translate to a better cardiovascular system as well as improved weight loss. But study after study after study after study continues to show that there is nothing to the 10,000 steps a day mythology. And I'll talk about the recent study and see how they broke that down and see even the group of people that they selected to try to get the most emphasis out of the results of this particular study. So what did they do? There is somewhat of a phenomenon in terms of transitional periods between coming out of high school and going into college. For some very strange reason, be it social reason or psychological reason, when you are a first year student at a college, you tend to gain a lot of weight. That transition from high school to college, for some reason, either the freedom from your parents because you're either dorming or going away for college, or just the poor eating habits that are built from the freedom that you get from college, or the waiting around from class to class, or the longer classes making you think about food a little bit more. So once you come out of class, you end up eating something. The lack of money, maybe, if you're now living by yourself, so you're eating highly processed, high sugar foods that can contain more calories yet be less satiating. There's so many different factors, but they can't pinpoint why that transitional period tends to have people gain weight. So what they did is that group of people is ripe for a study just like this. What happens if they attach a accelerometer and a pedometer to those people? Would they actually lose weight or maintain weight or increase their cardiovascular system if they walked the recommended 10,000 steps a day? And what they did is they had about 100 people in this study, all of which were women, and they asked them not just to walk 10,000 steps a day, they randomized it. They had a group walk 10,000 steps, another group walk 12,500 steps, and then another group they even asked to walk 15,000 steps. So 10K, 12.5K, and 15K. And the group was selected and they all agreed to be part of the study, and they went on their way walking the assigned steps. This study was a 24-week study. So they did a baseline testing to make sure that they weren't highly active already, because they wanted someone who wasn't highly active to be highly active so they can see a polarizing effect happen because of the major differences in their lifestyle. And what they saw at the end of the study was that the people that were given 10,000 steps, they actually ended up walking 11,000 steps. The people given 12,500 steps ended up walking about 13.5 thousand steps. And interestingly enough, 15,000 led to only about 14,000. So that group being the group that averaged less than what they were supposed to be targeting. That's probably because 15,000 steps a day is just a lot of steps. And what did they see at the end of this study? Did they lose weight? No. They didn't lose weight at all. And all of them participated and followed the procedure because the pedometer and the accelerometer was on the entire time. But unfortunately, everyone collectively averaged a weight gain of about 3.5 pounds. But however, 44% of the weight gain was fat and 56% of the weight gain was actually lean tissue. So although they gained weight, more of the weight was gained from lean tissue, and this could be from the consistent walking. You are building some muscle tissue if you're constantly carrying your weight and walking on the ground. But they still also gain body fat, and nothing changed within their cardiovascular system as well. So it wasn't even enough to increase that. So basically, is there any benefit to walking 10,000 steps when the main benefit that people thought they would get from this is weight loss, specifically fat loss? And that doesn't exist, as explained by many studies, as well as this recent one that was released. But this study did see something. It saw that the sedentary lifestyle actually started to shift. So if they had a sedentary lifestyle where they barely did anything, walking then increased their activity and made them go from that to doing other things. And even follow-ups that were done 1 year later, they were still heavily active in other things, when before the study they were actually pretty sedentary. So it did cause somewhat of a springboard effect where they continued to do this, and it created some sort of a habit in which they tried to elevate and even continue after the fact. Even after the study, they just got into that flow and it stuck with them. So maybe there is something to walking 10,000 steps a day. Just don't expect that to be the be all end all, or even the thing that does anything at all, except maybe have you finally start moving away from being in a sedentary lifestyle, if that's the lifestyle that you currently have. And of course, as always, the link to the study will be down in the description below. And I want to thank my patrons from my Patreon. I'm going to go ahead and put their names right up here. And as always, guys, I'll see you on Sunday for another FAQ. Peace.